Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. So on today's video, what we're doing, we're going to be doing this. This is one of the biggest trending haircuts for 2024. Bobs are going to be absolutely huge this year, and I wanted to bring you a number of them this year, just to be able to show you, if you're a client, what you're going to be asking for in salon and how to get that bob. But also, you hairdressers out there are thinking, right, bobs are going to be big this year. What are ways in which I'll be able to do these bang on trend haircuts on my clients behind the salon chair? This is going to be one of the simplest ways that you're going to be able to cut a bob in, but also you clients out there bringing you big inspiration. So check out all the inspiration that is going to be popping up here for bobs this year. This one is super versatile. You can wear it in many ways. It has got the graduation at the back that's sort of hidden, but it's there to make the hair look and feel thicker. You've got the beautiful wave in there, and you've just got a real beautiful bob, which is bang on trend. So I'm going to break down everything in this video. But first, can I just ask, if you are watching this, please hit the subscribe button, because there is a huge percentage of you that watch the videos, participate in the comments, but don't actually subscribe. So if you could, I really appreciate it. And I will continue to bring you big videos, trending, how-tos, and everything in between. So yeah, here's the haircut. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Let's get into the sectioning pattern. So getting into the sectioning pattern, what we've got is we've broken this down into half and half of the head. So we've broken it down to 4 easy to understand sections. We've gone through a central parting straight through the top, and from the high point of the head, finding that high point there and drawing to just on top behind the ear, depending on the client's head shape. That gives us the quadrants that we're going to work from and start pre-sectioning. And then I broke it down into these 2 sections here and this section here. This section on the side here works from where that head starts to curve away from the comb. So I put my comb there. You can see at that section, that's where the head starts to curve. So that's where I put my section in. Super simple, which then opened up that section there. We create 2 sections in one sort of swoop. And we've got those 2 to bump out the way. Let's just have a look on top so we can see where we're working from with all these sections before we get onto the back. So when it comes to the top section, you can see here we've got the 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the back. So that's where it was split straight through there and straight through there, like a cross on top of the head. And that point there is the high point. So what I did was rest my comb on there. I found it, and then I was able to draw the sections either side, which gives us a nice symmetrical section on top of the head. And then from there, if we just spin to the side so you can see those side sections, there's the curvature of the head just there. So that opened up that section, and then where that section here finishes just behind the ear, that's where I just took that across just there, and the occipital bone is there, and the crown is probably somewhere around about there. So I tried to aim that right in the middle, so it's just there, and then exactly the same on the other side. So we're going to start cutting from this back section, and all we're going to start doing is putting in a length. And with this haircut, this is going to be bob's going to be massive for 2024, and this is why I wanted to bring you this. This is going to be a little bit like a dad bob. Dad bobs are trending right now, but you've also got the French bob, the European bob, graduated bobs. There's so many bobs. The Chanel bob, the one length bob. This is going to incorporate a lot of those practices and fundamentals where you'll be able to see this sectioning pattern. And I'm going to start just graduating it very slightly under here to add a little bit of lift. But if you want to put in a one length, you wouldn't have to. You could just take it down there, cut it to your desired length, and then follow around and then put your layers in. This is why this haircut is going to be so popular for 2024, because it is so adaptable and you can bring a lot of different varieties to your clients. Let's get into the haircut. So first of all, what we want to be doing is we just want to be following that line straight through centre back there. And we're just going to open it up, and I'm just going to come up 1.5 inches. So we're going to fit this back section into 3 sections. If you get a bit overwhelmed by sectioning, don't be. Like, the sections are just there as a little bit of a GPS, so you can see where you want to go. And if you really struggle as a hairdresser how to section hair, I've got courses coming where I can work with you one-to-one. You can come to me in the salon, and we can work on all these sorts of things, or we can do the mentorship, which is in my down below join button. If you click that, I've got an online mentorship where you can join it. We can go through haircuts. We don't have to just go through haircuts. We can literally go through anything when it comes to either hairdressing or social media. So if you look down below, there's a join button. If you want to click it, support the channel is number one, but there is a mentorship option there as well. So I'll help you to go through all of this. So we want to find our length. And when we're looking at bobs for 2024, and ongoing. I mean, bobs, I could be saying this in 1999. Bobs are always on the minute, on the money when it comes to trends. So this bob haircut is probably going to be around for a long time. But this is just a really cool technique in how we can adapt to bob. We can make it quite versatile. Put a little bit of graduation in there, a little bit of one length, some layering, which is what we're going to be working with. We're going to be working with line, and we're going to be working with layer and graduation. The three ways that are only to cut hair. If somebody asks you how many ways are there to cut hair, it's not a trick question, but when you sort of say it, people say, oh, point cut, blunt cut, texturize, razor. There's literally three ways to cut hair: line, layer, and graduation. They're the three fundamentals to cutting hair. Right, so I'm seeing a lot of things at the minute. Bob's a little bit longer. I'm seeing short bobs as well, but I want this bob not to be too short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking just an inch off here. And I'm going to be cutting a square line through this back. Do you want a little bit more? Let's go a little bit shorter, Paul. Only a little bit, half an inch. Reason for, I just want to get the most out of this haircut for you, so you can see. And then what we do with this, we just bring that side section back to meet, and I'll show you here what I mean by that. So I haven't gone round the corner. I've actually combed that hair and brought it back to that square line. Because what that's going to do, it's going to keep weight behind the ear. Whenever you see bobs and they're sort of here and they jit up a little bit and then fall down, that's because people are coming around here cutting. Once it pops up through here, because we haven't got any hair here, that's where you lose the shape. Inch and a half again. Just keeping sections nice and clean, making sure you've got clips to clip it out of the way. There. So I'm just going to pop a head forward slightly, just so I can encourage a little bit more tightness on the skin. So I would get my client to pop their head forward, so I'm not going to be cutting it straight down. I'm just going to be bringing it out slightly, so we can start just building up a bit of weight, and we can start working some graduation into this haircut. So I'm just looking for that guide underneath, and I'm just elevating out slightly just to encourage a tiny bit of graduation. I'll show you this side. Again, I'm not working around the corner. I'm bringing it back to where we were, and I'm using my pinky on the neck as like stability, because if you're just like this, that can sway either way. In like that, using those fingers on the neck, like so, and then just make sure we bring that back to that line as well, through there. And then again, we're bringing this back, making sure I've got my fingers on the neck, making sure I'm square, and we're putting in that little bit of graduation. And that's it. We're going to work this next section in now. We're going to just pull down and pull out slightly to find that guide. Again, using my pinky on the neck, pulling this section back so we are maintaining that weight behind the ear. And my body position would normally be behind the section, but I'm standing here just so I can try and help you just see that little bit more rather than me getting in the way. And again, just bringing back square, finding that guide, pinky on the neck. See, we've still got that weight behind the ear, but we're starting to build up some graduation through that neckline. Right, let's have her up square. Now we're going to take out this section here. Make sure we're working with an even amount of dampness wetness. The wetter, the better. But you want to be making sure that there's an even amount of dampness to it. Now we're going to just take this section behind the ear that we've pre-cut there. We're going to bring down, and I'm just going to cut square, just in one cut. But I'm point cutting because I just want to just have a little bit of softness there, just making sure that we are square. And I'm just working towards the guide, which is there. So it follows all the way around. And again, exactly the same on the other side. So there we go, that's both sides done. Now we're going to drop the mannequin down. I'm going to start working on this section here. We're going to go into this back section, and I'll do exactly the same on the other side. So we want to be getting that length, and I want to pull up the back corner of this front section here, and I just want to be pulling down, and I want to find that length. Now there's not much to it. Try that again. Yeah. So we're taking off 1 inch here. And then all we're going to do is we're going to work down, straight down this section here, and creating a square line with that hair. And that hair that's falling out is that underneath section. So again, we're just going to take our next section, and this is just going to be over directed back to that first section. And we're using that guide that we found from finding that length. So you might find when we drop it, some pieces will be a little bit longer, but that's absolutely fine because we're going to put the length in after. So next section, we're going to be over directing back to that first section. So everything, even from here, comes straight back if it reaches, because we want to maintain and build weight on that front. And let's take this front section all the way back, and there it is there. We can see that's being pulled straight back to that first guide and section that we cut. And then what you'll find is that that's longer than what is underneath, which is what you want to be going for. Now this back section, we're going to pivot, and we're still going to use that guide that we just took. So we're going to use that guide just here. You can clip this out the way, the front, or you can just comb it out the way. I'm just going to take a little bit less. And what we want to be doing is we just want to take a slither of that side as well. And we're going to start cutting there, 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 and there until we come basically to 6 o'clock. 3 o'clock, working to 6 o'clock. And again, we're just pulling up a square layer. So we're going to pull straight up, and whatever there is to come off, comes off. I need just a little bit more hair there. Down that section there. Straight up to the ceiling. And there's literally dust on this mannequin. This mannequin was already pre-cut into a bob, but at pretty much the length in which we're working. But this is also a good refresh, but we're also putting in a new shape into this bob. Now we're back here at 6 o'clock. So I've pivoted all the way around. It's come straight up, and you can see there's literally dust coming off there. So we're working on a mannequin which is the length nearly in which we wanted the finished result to be. But this is going to be a great example of also of how to refresh a bob. If someone wants something a little bit different and you're thinking, oh God, I don't really know what to do, this would be a great way to put in a different shape for your clients. I'm going to get on with the other side, so join me back when I'm putting in the length. So that's all those sections done. How quick was that to put in a really nice bob? But just so you can see where we're working from, We've got that nice bit of graduation in there, but nothing too severe, something just really head hugging. But now what we're going to do is we're going to come around and we're just going to find the guide underneath from our previous cut sections, which is just at my fingers. And you can see I'm just pulling out from the head a little bit, which will create a bit of graduation. I'm just going to be point cutting into there, and I'm going in around about 1 centimetre into the previous, just to add a bit more softness into that exterior shape. Still want to be keeping it square. Again, rather than pulling straight down here, we're just pulling out, finding the guide, and then point cutting about 1 centimetre into the previous, not to take off length from the top section, sorry, but the underneath we are wanting to soften off and have a little bit more sort of floatiness with it. And you can see here, there's our exterior shape there, and we've got this extra length through the front. So what I want to do to create a bit of a softer look, I'm still going to bring out from the head, and I'm still going to point cut. But as I get to the front, I'm just going to extend it out slightly, because then that will just create a little bit more softness to the shape, of the overall shape. There we go. That's that section all done. You can see that shape there and how we want it to fall. Once we've styled it, just take off a tiny bit more of that front. I don't want it to look as if it's noticeably longer. There we go. That's better. So it comes round and then drops through there. And I'm going to continue that on the other side. And we just want to be doing exactly the same on the back for all those pieces that are overhanging. Just point cutting, just to add that little bit of softness to the shape. But that is that haircut done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to blow dry, add a little bit of shape to it, and then we'll bring you the finished result. So there we go, that's it all dried. I just used a vest brush and my GHD hair dryer. Again, everything down, links in the description. You can get everything that I use on this channel. But I've just used a sort of like a bevel technique, just making sure that all the roots and everything are dry, and then taking that down and then using the sort of like the slow air of the hair dryer to push up against that brush, and just gives you that shape there. So I'm just going to work through it with some scissors, just making sure that all the edges are nice and disheveled. And then this is one way to wear it. I'm going to get a round brush in there, start wearing it, sort of like blow drying it back, a bit more volume, so you can see another way of how to wear this bob, which is going to be massive for 2024. Because we've just put that wave on the top, and because we beveled that bottom section out, there's actually a beautiful connection with it, rather than just having the top sort of wavy and underneath sitting straight. Whenever you're thinking about doing that, think about your end result of what you want it to look like. A little bit of Joico humidity blocker, just a really nice soft spritz of that. What that will do is it will stop any air getting into it and making it sort of expand. We want to keep this really nice and flat. And there we go. Probably the biggest trending bob for 2024. I'm only the messenger. Don't kill him. I've been on Google. I've been looking at all the trends that are happening right now. Bobs seem to be the biggest trend for 2024. I've just given you the biggest trending bob for 2024. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please let me know in the description comments down below. Check out the description, because all the tools that I've used in this as well, you can pick up. There's keep saying vouchers. There's no vouchers, just discount codes down there. So yeah, if you are new, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And until next time, I'll see you on the next video.